I have tried 2 times this year to film this road. The first time I just turned around. I'm going to stop down here. And clean my window off. It got, so we went into some gnats or something. I will be back. All right, a cleaner window. That looks good. Right away, I noticed that there's some of these, I guess, call them vanity road signs here, where it's a private drive and they've named it some fancy, or well, fancy or whatever. However, I mean, that's just what happens. Things happen. There's an interesting spot here that cannot be occupied. That, well, you can't see it, but it's a neat looking place, but it looks like it looks like it's kind of run down to begin with. Not very well built. Certainly needs TLC, but like it might have some really interesting potential. So this is a really, really neat back road. It's a back road of Wyoming and a back road of Colorado. The mountains off in the distance, if you can see them, they'd be off a little bit to the left right now. That's going to be around Gould and Rocky Mountain National Park. That poor bird. I had a bird today. I hate that. I feel so bad. I have had several animals this year, birds and prairie dogs. I hate it. There's not a damn thing I can do about it. It really annoys me. It makes me sad. I mean, it's beyond annoyed. I know we all have to go. I just really hate when a little creature like that just, does one little wrong thing and is gone. It's just terrible. But I do believe God has to deal with every living creature. So maybe even the bugs. Maybe even the bugs. Life is precious. Life is amazing. By the way, one of the things that the weird scientific community wants to be able to do but can't create life. This is a really beautiful country. And we're a little bit off to the west of the diamond bearing area that I know of anyway, in Colorado, potentially Wyoming. Kind of a neat consideration. In case I haven't said it, today is July 25th. It is almost August, and we haven't really even had summer yet. We've had a few hot days, not overly hot. That's just basically it. I mean, not anything like regular summer. And I know that the media out there is hammering and clamoring about how hot it is when it isn't. They are just bullshitting people that are bullshittable. To be quite frank about it. I'm going to check something here. Had some, what could have been, could be some sort of engine fluid. I think it's washer fluid. Well, I'm going to take a quick look. Make sure it isn't. Okay. Here. Where you at? Where you at? There. All right, everything looks good. I must have been into some oil. Something splashed up on the rear bumper of this car. It looks like it was whipped around. Whipped around. It's like the way I said that. Whipped around and on the back bumper, like kind of sucked into from vacuum. But I didn't see anything on the back window. I don't know what that could have been. Or when it went. It could have, or when. Yeah, I was mentioning in another video that I would like to be able to, not to clone myself, but to have 3 or 4 of me so that I can do the things that I want to do. Because I would really, right now, want to be out looking for gemstones in several different areas. Just for the heck of it. I don't care if I find them or not. Although it's nice to find them. But I would also like to be cutting lumber somewhere, working on a steam project, and other things too. I mean, I'm probably not alone in that idea that my interests outweigh the amount of time I have in a day to do them. Some really pretty country out this way. We're still in Wyoming. I think that the road turns to gravel when we get into Colorado. But we are about in Colorado. So. My steering is great. The wind's blowing me around a little bit, but not nearly as bad as it typically does. It's really interesting that I can't get a good alignment from a shop. I have to do it by by sight, by gas work, I guess. Apparently. I've had big issues. I've destroyed 2 tires. Luckily, they weren't blowouts. I took them off, but they were trash. In the last 2 years, I've destroyed 2 tires. Actually, 4 tires, really. The tires that were on the front end of this car. The one that I just recently took off, had taken off. Was last week. And I just finished putting all new front end alignment parts on this car, which means the lower A-arms, the ball joints, and the inner and outer tie rods on either side. And the torsion bar links. The first time I tried to film this road, I got down here and it had rained pretty good the night before. This was maybe a month or 6 weeks ago. Really, it was when they opened the road, it was finally open enough, that this is a snowmobile road the further south you get. All right, so now we are in Laramie County, Colorado, on County Road 103. We're still on the Laramie River Road. The first time I came down here, This road was slop, was wet, was sticky and gooey. It was thick. I drove about 50 feet on it, turned around, said to hell with it. A few weeks ago, I came down this road. 3 weeks ago, maybe. I came down this road, and I did film it, but I got about 15 or 20 miles down, and I got into a section where they were putting magnesium chloride on the road, and I had to drive through that slop. I had just washed my car in Laramie. I try to keep this undercarriage of this car as clean as possible. And the worst thing that I can do is to drive through magnesium chloride. I mean, I don't know how damaging it is to metal, but it is a salt, so it probably isn't a good thing to keep on your vehicle. I was really cranky about that. They were doing like about a 2-mile stretch of the road, so it wasn't like 10 miles of road, but it was sure annoying. It has to be better today. That car looked nice and clean, so maybe they're done with that. I'm glad to see that. Anyway, this is just a beautiful road. I like to spend some time east of here, but I don't know what this property is. If it's ranch property, if it's BLM, if it's forest, I don't know what it is. It doesn't look like someone owns it. I don't have good information. I need to get better information about this area. But I do think it would be fun to go out in that area and explore for, try to find kimberlite dikes. Kimberlite being the material that brings diamonds up. And so you can basically think of it as a magma or lava or something like that. The scientists say, yeah, that term is used a lot, isn't it? Usually for some global warming lie. Scientists say, well, as far as this subject, scientists say that maybe I could make it a little bit more specific. Geologists say, when they're talking about this, that kimberlite comes up from pretty great depths, like over 100 miles deep, and it will come up molten, obviously, really fast, so it's got to be a pretty decent eruption when it happens. And then, like all volcanic events, it stops, cools off, maybe it erupts again, maybe it doesn't, but if you know where to look and there are diamonds in it, that's where you can find a lot of the diamonds. There are a couple different types of lava that you can find diamonds in. Lava, some sort of igneous rock. And I can't think of the other one. Interesting name. It's a different type of material that diamonds can be found in. What is it? Lamprite, I think, is the stuff. I might not be pronouncing it properly. Yeah, lamprite, I think. But over here, it's supposed to be kimberlite, and I don't know that this particular road in this particular country is any different than the country where the kimberlite dikes are found. So there could be a kimberlite dike around here. There could be diamonds around here. I mean, there could be. I could say that regardless. But it's in the vicinity. Maybe there are kimberlite dikes here. Maybe some of them contain diamonds. Maybe they haven't been found yet. Or maybe they have been found and no one's found diamonds on them. Or for that matter, other gemstones. I mean, a diamond deposit could have a lot of different gemstones in it. You know? I find it for this car, if I keep my speed around 50 on a relatively decent dirt road, that it's nice and smooth. I've got a lot of stability and handling. And there are people here that put these signs on the road. I grew up around cows and horses and sheep and other creatures all over the place, all the time, all over the road. I'm not sure why these people are putting that sign up. Maybe someone has actually hit some of their animals before. I don't know. It seems like it's a little bit whiny. But if they've had a horse head, I mean, that can be traumatic. I mean, horses are, they're family. So, and even if you don't like a horse, if you raise horses, you really don't want somebody to come along and hit them just because they're driving too fast. But for people that live in rural areas like this, especially areas like this, it is not uncommon to see sheep, to see deer, to see moose, to see horses, to see elk. If there are buffalo around, on the road at any time, day or night. I will say this, the people that live on this road have no idea what it's like to live on a road where you're dodging deer all the time, like Highway 13 between Craig and Meeker. They don't understand what it's like, because there are animals that get killed daily on that road. The state, CDOT, whom I like to gripe about, are actually doing what I think is a really good thing. Up north of Craig, they're putting up deer fencing, and they're building, I think that there is one or two underpass. I could be wrong about that. I thought there was at least one underpass for creatures, but they're setting the road up to be a lot safer, for animals. There are areas that the animals will cross, and the state put lights up that flash to warn you when there are animals on the road in those areas. So, we'll see. It would be nice if something worked. The deer fencing is pretty good. I mean, wherever there's deer fencing, which is almost like 8 or 9 foot tall fencing, it's really some tall fencing. but they certainly need it. This, I think, was the area they were putting that chloride on. Yeah, this was the area. And I was cranky about it. This road is a seasonal road up here, up ahead. I think it's year round around here. Obviously, there are ranchers, there are houses, there are people who live on it. But once we get closer into the mountains, start climbing. Actually, there's a turnoff. We'll cross. Yeah, we cross over the Little Laramie River. Oh, that could be a Kimberlite. Anyway, yeah, we'll cross over the Laramie River. The Little Laramie, right? Or is it just the Laramie River? I think it's the Laramie, not the Little Laramie. I think that's up north. At that point, we'll get in, I think, to the National Forest. And they quit maintaining the road at that point. You'll see. So my sister got a camera, just like mine. She liked the quality of the footage that I shoot. And she's been playing around with it and setting it up. She's doing some pretty cool stuff. For some reason, she thinks she needs to have her face on video. I tell her, no, you don't want to do that. You shouldn't scare people. That's why you don't see my face. I don't want to scare you. But apparently she wants to. So anyway, she's working. I'm Bob. I know I'm just joking, but she's working the bugs out. She had it out of focus for a while. It's real easy. I've done it too. Grab the camera and you'll grab it and you'll turn the autofocus off. And when you do that, your camera is just stuck on whatever the focus was. It doesn't autofocus. When autofocus is off, obviously. That's why it's called autofocus. So, she had some videos that were out of focus, and she put them up, didn't realize what was going on, and I told her. And she fixed that. That was cool. And then she tried this picture-in-picture thing, because she has another camera, a nice camera, but not as nice as you know, the newer ones. Well, actually, the nicest one is the oldest one. She had to get it refurbished. They don't make them anymore. These AX100s. And so now she did a shot. Well, she filmed some stuff running both cameras, one pointing at her and one pointing out front. And she had hers up in the top corner, and in the lower left corner, and on the bigger screen was her front-facing camera. Well, I asked her if she could do a picture-in-picture. That way she could use a front-facing camera full screen, and then just take a little, put her face somewhere in there, if she must put her face in. And she did that, and it looked really good the way it came out. Of course, I suggested the idea, so I'm going to like it. I think that the mountains we're looking at right now are over to our right with the snow on them, for what you can see of them. I believe that's the east side of the forest range. And those are the mountains that you see from when we're in North Park. You'll see I always mention a forest range. They're beautiful mountains. When we're looking at the other side, we're coming up the valley. Oh yeah, I forgot to add antelope to that list of animals that are always on the road. They did remind me just now. Thank you, antelope, for reminding me. And in addition to all the big animals, there are tons of little animals you get on the road. Marmots, skunks, porcupines occasionally, prairie dogs, raccoons. I hate it because they get killed. I hate it. Now, typically this road gets really nasty here in a few miles. And if you can see that building over to the right, and you think that it's giant, that's not an optical illusion. Now, I don't know if that's a rancher that did really good, or if that's a wealthy outsider that came in and built that, but that is a huge building. I don't know what they put in there. Maybe the question is what can't they put in there? What don't they put in there? Because you could probably put livestock, food, vehicles, commodities. It's huge. That is one huge space. Now there's a pretty fancy ranch house down here. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna make a hazard a guess that the same person that owns the big ranch down here, that you probably will never see, but it's definitely a gentrified house, right? Very fancy. I'm going to guess that that person is not a local rancher. I'm going to guess that that person is some kind of business wonk from somewhere that built this. Pretty nice. I mean, it's very nice what he did. I'm also going to assume it's a he. How many woke laws am I breaking? No, I am a white person, so that's the biggest law that I'm breaking. No, I'm a white male. Even more to the point. However, it doesn't matter what color or race, well, what color, race, or sex you are. If you don't agree with the left, we are all white supremacists to the left. If we don't fall over and kiss their asses. No dissent. There it is. Maybe got a bit of a shot of that. That's a pretty big house. And then it looks to me like they've got probably ranch hand quarters right up ahead of us. Some of the older stuff. Very pretty place. Like I said, it could be a rancher, a local rancher. It's not inconceivable that a local rancher isn't able to make that kind of money, because ranchers make good money. They can make really good money. but it just has the feel of a gentrified billionaires idea of paradise out here. It has that look to it. There's probably a heliport out there too. Rose Valley Ranch. Well, it's a nice place. So here is where the road is probably shut down, or you can drive up until you can't drive anymore. Yeah, and there's a Browns Park here. That's funny. There's a Browns Park in northwest Colorado, which is actually the official historical Browns Park. This Browns Park is an interloper. But the actual real historical Browns Park in Moffat County was quite the place. All the outlaws like to hang out there. The James Gang, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, all them people. And other outlaws that I know the name of, but can't recall. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. In the fall, if the water ever subsides a little bit, I want to stop and just take a pan to see what kind of local minerals, local rocks you can find in the water. I'll do that one of these days. I'm in no hurry to do that though. Although I probably should be. I think our summer is coming to an end pretty quickly. It felt like fall yesterday. I don't know what makes that feeling happen. I don't know. Maybe a smell, maybe the level of the light. I don't know, but we could feel it. The coolness of the mornings. Maybe none of that stuff. Yeah, typically the road right here is just really horrible. It's quite nice right now. Quite unnaturally nice. So, and it does look like it's been treated with magnesium chloride. It's got a bit of a darker look to it than the bar ditches. They're a little bit lighter looking. That's kind of a giveaway. That, and if you're driving on it and you don't see any dust, that's a pretty good giveaway that the road has been treated with mag chloride. Yeah, this road has definitely been treated with mag chloride. This is really nice. Like I said, in the winter, this is a snowmobile trail. At some point up here. Once they close the road, I don't come up here. I don't really want to drive down here, 30 or 40 miles and have to turn around, which I would have to do. There's just no point in it. I'm not that curious how far up I can get on the road in the winter. But if I were, if that was a burning curiosity, and I had to know the answer, I could probably pop up here every week and find out. Yeah, I'm impressed. This particular spot is usually just like a minefield. Wow, that's pretty. We haven't got a lot of rain, but we're getting a reasonable amount. You know, it's keeping everything green and beautiful. This is so nice. Do you know that the Consumer Protection Agency, whatever their letters are, let me preface that. The EPA got a lot of its powers taken away from it this year by the Supreme Court. It's my understanding that the EPA can't just shut businesses down, you know, and just act like some sort of bureaucratic agent with limitless power. They can just make up shit and make it so, you know, because that's what they've been doing. They've been doing that with the energy companies. Now I think they've bribed the energy companies at this point. So all the corrupt energy companies are probably on the take and will go ahead and shut their plants down. When I say that, I think about a company called Tri-State and wonder if it's not a corrupted company, because they went through a struggle session with the EPA, with the judge actually. But now the EPA has no power to shut them down. That's what I've been told. So they would probably have done this, the thing I'm going to talk about. So the Consumer Protection Agency is banning a certain thing, actually banning a few things. They're using the excuse of, oh, it puts out too much carbon monoxide. But what they're banning are emergency generators. What they want to ban. I shouldn't say they are. They are floating the idea. They want to do it. They want to ban emergency generators, the kind you use when a tornado comes through, knocks the power out, or when you have an ice storm, and the power lines are down. They want to ban that because of carbon monoxide. Apparently, their excuse will be either carbon monoxide is a greenhouse gas or some scary, dangerous gas that is killing the climate, or that people are using these generators inside their houses and killing themselves. Either way, if you're stupid enough to run a generator inside your house, you'll probably only do it once. You'll either do it once and die, or you'll do it once and learn you'll never want to do that again. But I think it's just a Trojan horse. It's a lame excuse. It's the best they've got. I think what they want to do is they want to hamstring the American public. They want to take away our ability to be self-reliant. And why would they want to do that? Well, a couple weeks ago, I heard Kamala talking about, oh, things are going great. Yeah, this is great. And you know, once the population reduction thing, things are going to be really good. And she said, once the population reduction, you know, happens. Well, I'd kind of like for her to dig into that a little bit and tell me, what is this population reduction you speak of? Lady who has taken a position of vice president most likely illegally. I'd like to know what in the fuck you're talking about. Because population reduction has happened in the past. I think the last time it happened, the slogan that came from that part of our history was "never again." I think it was called the Holocaust. Is that what our bureaucrats have got in store for us? Or is it something a little different? Are they just going to put out a new COVID? I mean, their original COVID wasn't very good. It killed some people. The vaccines weren't very good at all. I mean, it was crazy how bad the vaccines were. Someone somewhere I read were talking about them, saying, "Oh, but the vaccines saved millions of lives." How? Yeah, Sanity for Sweden, number 4. Sanity for Sweden. A guy, that's his channel on YouTube. I think on Rumble also. Was saying, how? How could a vaccine that A, doesn't protect you from the vaccine or from the virus, which this vaccine didn't do, and B, doesn't stop you from transmitting the virus to someone else, that this vaccine also wasn't able to do. In fact, the only thing that this vaccine is apparently good for doing is killing people. And they're finding out more and more about that all the time. Myocardial infarctions, your veins filling up with calcium deposits, spike proteins. People just killing over in public. Talking to you 1 minute, fall down dead the next. Neurological issues from the vaccine. Yeah, that's what we got. Is that part of the population reduction, Kamala? I don't like that person. I think she is as evil as the day is long. And the day is long. I think whatever's left of Joe Biden's brain is evil also. Well, I think people are seeing that. I am noticing that there are so many more people that are speaking out against the climate hoax, the climate change hoax, the global warming hoax that has been perpetrated on us. Keep in mind, this is not your grandpa's global warming crisis. This is not Chicken Little running around anymore. These are people that know there's no global warming going on. They know there's none of this climate change. They know that the world is not experiencing the hottest record years ever. They know that's all bullshit. They are corrupt people. They are lying to you. They know they're lying to you, and they do it every day. And they feed the press lies to tell us, and the press dutifully, like the little lapdogs they are, do that. These people are not the Chicken Littles, the people that were just worried about something that got carried away. That was like the innocent. Like I say, Chicken Little was, I think, innocent. These people are not innocent. They know there's no global disaster. They know there's no environmental disaster. They have got a plan. And we might refer back to Kamala, her population reduction remark, because I'm pretty sure that the global warming push and the population reduction push are the same thing. Similar to the COVID lockdown, similar to the vaccine mandate that they tried to force on us. you can't trust these people anymore. And it looks to me like more and more people every day are understanding that and are backing away from the leftist agenda. I hope that's true. I do make the point, because I think it's true, that evil is more powerful than good. But it's certainly not better. And I think the only reason that it is more powerful than good is because evil will cheat at every game it plays. Where people that consider themselves good stay within a moral framework that does not allow them to do certain things that the left will just have to do out of hand. But the left will do anything to get their way, and they'll laugh. They'll laugh at their enemies, because their enemies, people that have morals, will not do that. The left doesn't understand that that is the strength of the conservatives. The conservatives, their enemies. Their strength is that they don't become the evil bastards that the left is. They don't play the same game. The left will win, but the left wins short-term fights. They lose long-term battles. And I believe they're losing this one. I don't think it's time yet for the left to take over. I do believe there will be a time when the left takes over. And I believe when that time comes, you don't want to be on the left. You probably don't want to be on this earth, period. But I don't believe that time has come yet. I see the left losing numbers, losing credibility, losing power. And they're pretty damn concerned also. Which is why they're trying to enact some interesting outcrop over there. I may have to take a look at that one of these days. Very white rock. Could be a pegmatite. However, this is not the day for that. Oh, hey, look at that. That kind of has that feel too. So the left wants to ban, well, the left. Yeah, the Consumer Project, Consumer Protect, whatever, want to ban portable generators. They also want to ban gas ranges. Gas ranges, they're making up bullshit about gas ranges. They're saying people are allergic to them. They're saying all kinds of bullshit. They're getting rid of gas. They're trying to get rid of gas, and they have in some places in Denver. At least on a business, you can't put a gas tap in. It's insane, because gas, if these people actually were environmentally, looking towards the environment, they would be pushing the use of natural gas, because it is the most efficient, and for this type of energy, it's extremely clean. But the left is bullshitting. They don't care about the environment. They care about shutting down the industry in this country. They really, really want to be able to control us by the stroke of a keyboard, shutting off our house, your house. But you can't really do that if your house has gas and, has several utilities, but you can easily do that if your house is all electric, and that's what they're going for. And the funny thing to me about it, anyone that knows anything about the types of power that we use to run our homes, electric is the least efficient and the most expensive of all. Propane is better, but natural gas is king. And they want to take our ability to have cheap, clean, well, it's not renewable, but we have plenty of natural gas. They want to take away that ability for us to have that. Why would anybody want to do that? And what are we doing if we don't need to use gas anymore? What are we doing if they shut our power down? Oh, that's right, we're dying. Again, back to Kamala's population reduction remark. I'm just telling you what these people are doing. I believe I know why they're doing it. And I believe I know what they want to do. You make your own decision about that. If you want to defend that statement by Kamala, tell me how I'm wrong about that, please feel free. If you want to defend the Consumer Protection Agency's plan to ban portable generators, gas heaters and gas ranges, please fill me in. And keep in mind, I understand and know the propaganda, and I can smell the propaganda. So if you feed me propaganda, I'll feed it right back to you. Neat little lake over here. I think that's a reservoir, but it may not be. It may be a natural lake. But it looks like it may have been dammed up a little higher. I'm really not sure. You may notice we're going through a dead forest here. You would think that the Forest Service would want to cut all this timber down and get it out of here. As scared as they are of fire. But for some reason, they don't appear to want anyone to have this lumber. They want it to stand up here. You ought to ask yourself why. Well, what do people do with lumber like this? Mainly they burn it. But some of the lumber you can actually use. If it's big enough, or if your project, you can use that size, that type of lumber, type and size. But again, it's kind of a mystery, isn't it? Why the forestry community has and is leaving actually, they put our forests in this position with their philosophy on stopping fires. Fires are really important. You can see why. This is just nature will certainly come in here and do it. They'll take care of it. Yeah, the Forest Service can't put it off forever. There's some private land here. I think the private land is these healthy trees around here. But there is forest that is healthy, where it was able to burn. But there's a lot of standing dead up here. I think that the Forest Service sells people on the idea of putting, we have to put these fires out. Therefore, we need a huge budget so that we can finance smoke jumpers and planes and helicopters, all kinds of tech. And I think not only that, but I believe that also gives them more bureaucratic control of the land. Like they can shut the land off more easily if it's a gigantic fire risk, right? The crisis mode theory, philosophy. Even this road is better than I typically find it. It looks like they might have even put mag chloride on this road. Well, here we go. Steep little canyon down there. Beautiful little falls. You can't see them.